Hi there everybody, it's UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator Helzie here from slimandstylish.stampinup.net. Thank you very much for joining me today for a 5-minute card. Today it's going to be using the Flamed Florets photopolymer stamp set. I fell in love with this stamp set. It came out to demonstrators probably a couple of months ago and everyone was getting it, and I thought, no Helz, you've got enough flowers, you really don't need this one. And over time, I've seen what everyone's been doing and I fell in love. So last week, I added it to my shopping cart and look what I have got, and I am so excited about it. So I'm going to be using the larger sentiment today, which I really like. Wishes for a beautiful birthday. I like the fact it's a mixture of two fonts, but I also like the fact it's quite a big sentiment. You can do things with this sentiment. So I'm going to be using my layering circle dies. I'm just going to die cut that out so that it sits just like that. So it's going to be my pop-up sentiment, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a frame around it. So I'm using the exact same die I've just cut it out with and a pencil, and I'm just creating myself a very, very light frame. I bet you can hardly see it on the video, but it's very, very light. I'm then going to be using a mixture of 3 of these stamps. Sorry, four. I'm going to be using the 2 flowers, the little leaf, and then this big floral piece that's in the bottom corner. I'm just going to add them onto my blocks, and I'm going to be decorating these around the circle. So this is a really neat technique, and if you like it, you don't have to get this set to do it. You can use any set and it will still have the same sort of effect. I just like the flowers in this set. So what I'm doing is I'm going to be balancing this stamp around the circle. It's going to cross the circle because I don't want it to sit outside of the circle, but it's not going to cross it by much. Keep layering all these stamps up. So I'm going to be using the circle. No, I'm not using the circles. I'm using the little flowers. I'm going to be using the leaves, and I can just add those on the outside, and then the larger flower as well. And then I can come back in and add the leaves as the next bit of detail. But you just want to sort of create yourself a nice frame for it. So I just love the detail here, and I was really tempted because it was a 5-minute card to leave it as it is and pop the circle on and that be the card. But I was looking at it and I thought you can add some extra dimension here. You're only 2 minutes in, get your blends out. So I'm going to be using the dark and light smoky slate and the dark and light grey granite. The smoky slate is the one towards the back, and the grey granite, which has kind of got a little bit of a browner tone, is towards the front. And I'm starting off with the dark, and I'm just going to be popping this at odd places across the leaves. Okay, so I'm only doing the leaves that have got the lines in them, and I'm just doing the odd part of it, and then I'm going to come in with a light and I'm going to go over the entire lot and blend it all in together. I love monochrome cards. I think they're really beautiful, but sometimes I just feel they need that extra pop and pow, which is what these blends are going to create. It's still going to look like a black and white tone card. It's still going to look, you know, like really effective, but it's just going to have that little pop that's going to create that added dimension, which I think is quite exciting. So I'm using the bullet tip. I find that a bit easier on smaller detail cards because then I can get into all the detail, don't have to worry about going over the lines, and I can really blend it in well. If you're on a big space, by all means use the brush tip and then just come in with the bullet tip at the end around the edges. But yeah, for this one, I'm just going to be using the bullet tip. So once I've finished with my leaves, which as you can see have got now a nice tone to them, I'm going to be using the dark and light smoky slate, and I'm going to be adding the dark smoky slate to the smaller flower, and I'm just going to do the 2 of them. And Stampin' Up, I've already put some lines in the actual stamp so you can see where the dark is going to go, and then I'm using the light over the top to blend it. As I was looking at the finished piece, I did think maybe I should go for another flower. But no, I decided to leave it exactly as it was. I felt that there was enough texture in it. But if you're playing, you can decide to do that. What else would have been nice would be to do all the leaves in the grey granite or the smoky slate, and then to put the flowers in a colour. That would work as well. Really up to you. Just to finish the card off, I've decided to use the elegant trim. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to pop a double-sided foam piece on here. So these are from the catalogue. They're great. I've been using them on everything at the moment because it saves using 5 dimensionals. But I'm also going to add a load of adhesive into this gap and grab my silver elegant trim. wrap it around my finger to create a few loops. So I've gone about 4 or 5 times here. And then what you want to do before you put it down is just split the loops. Okay, put it down and then pull the loops into position. So 2 sort of towards the bottom, 2 sort of towards the top, and then add the circular piece on top, which will just sit all of the trim in place. Push it down once I finally got all the backing off. There we go. And push it down, and there is pretty much the finished card. So what I'm going to do to finish off is I'm going to pop some adhesive on the back, and I'm going to add it to a card base. So this is a card base I've already cut and scored, so it's an A6 base. Stick it down using my seal, and then I'm also going to use some of our metallic crystal effects. So enamel effects, metallic enamel effects they come in black, red and white, and I'm just deciding to use the black at various points, and that is my 5-minute card. I think it's really effective. I have thought I might redo it and do it coloured and put it on my channel. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Everything I've used today is available on my store, slimandstylish.stampinup.net, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye.